Hello everyone and welcome back to the Bunya tribe, our niche version 0.5.1 hybrid tribe, and we are actually going to try to make this an official tribe and see where their adventures go, especially because we have just leapt to a brand new island, following the roar and the cry and the command of Beast, who was the friendly Bearynea that we actually befriended on the last island and ended up breeding with, and these are all of his children, and in some cases, like little Elise here, his children's children. It's been quite an interesting adventure to branch away from the rest of the bulk of our family tree and pretty much just have Bella and Beast children end up inheriting the story and moving on to the next island. However, we do have a little bit of a hanger-on, and that is Soku back here. You can see our spotty Soku with his amazing poison fangs and his claw, so he is pretty strong in his own right, hiding in the grasses so that hopefully the Bearynea children won't find him other than his beloved mate, Janet. So Janet was dragged by her older siblings back into the little branch right here, this little tribe, and she was dragged along with them when they left the old island and came to this island, even though in Janet's heart she is much more of a timid and quiet berry picker, and she didn't really want to have anything to do with the roar of her father and his command that his children should go forth and look for more of the Bearynea in other lands. But she wasn't able to fight her sisters on it because she is smaller than them, very much smaller than them. And Zala, wow, holy moly, Zala really grew up into quite the large female there. But we've also got right over here Fifi, who is one of the most domineering and commanding females and also one of the biggest, and Miriam, who is also one of the biggest, and she is also domineering and commanding. I imagine that their sister Zola might actually get along with them pretty well because they're all of similar size. The only other one in their newly formed tribe who is about as big as those girls are is Gaston, who's also our only male. And that brings, well, other than Soku, but remember, Soku's supposed to be hidden away as a secret in the grasses. Only he and Janet happen to know that he is there. And Janet is actually carrying his child. So that's going to be a very interesting twist in our Bearynea family tree. And that is actually where we're going to start going from here. We are going to try to conserve this branch and only breed with other creatures that have Bearynea traits. So either within our own group or with other friendly Bearynea that we happen to meet and find, which might be really tricky. So other than Soku's secret child and any other children that he and Janet might be able to have, we're not going to be able to know like if we're going to keep this line going very far, if it's going to become so inbred with no influx of new friendly Bearynea babies that we won't be able to keep it going. So I think that's going to be a fun challenge in itself, and it will be really cool to see just how far we can take this tribe's stats, because look at that, 7 strength. I kind of want to build up all of their strength and then take them out somewhere in the world and fight them against something big like one of the apes in the jungle, just to see if we can be powerful enough that this tribe can really take out anybody that they need, using some of the nichelings' tribal instincts of hunting together versus the always independent, always apart, lone wolf characteristics of the Bearyenas. Alright, so we did, however, after following a beast command to go to a new island, end up on a really pedunky new island. Look at this thing! And it's too small for anything. And I think that pretty much the entire tribe is really stunned that they gathered up themselves, they broke away from the rest of the family, they left a really pristine nest that Beauty was in love with, and she had just given birth to her first child in, and she thought it was perfect and she could do all her fishing and gather up seaweed there. They listened to their dad, they came to this island, and it's this pathetic little like itty bitty tiny spot of land in the middle of the ocean. So I think that the bigger females would definitely be a little bit put out by that. And we'll have Miriam, let's see, we'll have Zola kind of jump around, and Miriam and Fifi will probably have her start exploring too. So we'll go ahead and let them do a little spot of exploring first, because I think they would at least try that much out to see, oh, maybe it was all just, maybe there's something here. It doesn't look like much, but clearly our father sent us here for a reason. Maybe there's some sort of prey to find, or there are other Bearynea that we can compete with and take as mates. They want to have that more aggressive stance to life. So we'll go ahead and let them start exploring the island. All right, let's get Miriam over there too. Ooh, look at that, 3 fishing. And it's also going to be interesting to see what traits we start passing down, because I haven't really assigned any traits to any of our creatures for a little while, partly because I'm still getting used to the new mutation menu, and partly because I kind of prefer letting our creatures, without influencing what mutations they may have, kind of guide the story with just seeing what pops up unexpectedly in the family tree. But for things that don't really affect stuff too much, like coloration, maybe I'll start playing with that. I'll have to think about it, because I really find a lot more fun just letting the creatures kind of have surprise children with whatever mix of genes they may. However, we will probably start going back to assigning like one trait that defines that particular creature's personality, and if we really start struggling and dying off, I'll think about assigning a trait for the other mutation slot that will maybe end up resulting in children that will be more successful on the island that we're at. But we'll have to see, because we don't really have any negative traits that I need to breed out, like short-sighted eyes or anything right now, so we may not mess with the mutation menu in this current form very much just yet. All right, Miriam, what are we going to have you do? Oh, and also, as time goes on, guys, you may notice we're starting to lose out on that collecting ability. It's becoming pretty scarce among our genes, and that's kind of intentional. We might end up with the Bearynea bears being strict carnivores and fishers, which would be kind of interesting and a big challenge to try to do. So we may very well end up getting to the point where we hardly ever are able to eat berries by picking them, and we have a whole bunch of cracker jaw, so I don't think we have to worry about not being able to crack open nuts or clams, but we might really push ourselves to try to be carnivores as much as possible with this group. All right, well, there's not much to this island, so it shouldn't take too long to explore. And Miriam, if she isn't able to find a mate, may try to take Gaston as a mate, but I'm not sure what happens if can you even get double home island immunity? Still not exactly sure what that's supposed to do. All right, and then Janet, I think, would sneak over here really quickly, and she might kind of spend some time nibbling berries and sharing the food with Soku, because Janet's personality is actually very strongly geared towards loving that berry picking, to the point that I'm actually going to assign Nimble Fingers for her personality trait to her children. But if she ends up having too many children that lack all Bearynea traits, then I could definitely see the rest of the tribe throwing their kids out, or maybe even like using them just as berry picking slaves. Who knows? We'll have to see how that goes. All right, Andrea, we have to be careful for. She has doubled up immunity. She does not have very long to live, and she's sickly. So I think she would go ahead, and she's also pregnant with the beast's last child. She'll go ahead, and I think she would jump over. Oh, and I can't build a nest right on top of there. Is this a nest? Tell me this is a nest. No, it's a mole hole. All right, well, we'll have to have Andrea go ahead and have her last child, or her first, only, and last child, and the beast's last child, next turn when she can make a nest, because I thought maybe I could make a nest on the port, and no, you cannot. Also pregnant is Beauty, and I think that she'll jump over, not too close to Andrea, mind you, or else she might get sick. And Gaston will jump over to see what's going on with all of his sisters and his mate. Alright, so Soku, just be careful and keep hidden. Alright. Really peaceful and quiet? Wait, who died? Oh my goodness! No! We lost her. She wasn't able to have her very last child. I feel, or first, last, and only child. I feel really bad. So that's kind of a bad omen. I think that would make Beauty really upset that her pregnant sister just like passed away, and she would want to get out of here. So we'll go ahead and have Zala kind of like glance over. But I think if Zala is yelling like there's nothing but grass and bushes, then Miriam would start thinking, oh, maybe we're not supposed to be here, and we'll start scooching them over to this port. And then Elise, we'll have you come over with your mom, but I think that Beauty would be kind of upset, and we'll have her eat a little bit to try to calm down. There we go. And Fifi will be like, oh, it's just a berry bush, and destroy it. Poor Soku. All right, run for it, Soku. Don't end up staying too long near all of the others, or else they might see you. And Janet will gather up some grasses for her future nest too, and kind of like mourn her sister. She's probably the least heartless of all of the creatures involved here after all. Gaston will help out with the grass a little bit and then jump over to kind of console his mate. And Fifi and Miriam will definitely say that if there's only grass and like berry bushes here, then they're not supposed to be here. And the death of Andrea so suddenly definitely would make Beauty want to get a move on before she gives birth to her child. Also, Janet, oh, that's right, Janet's pregnant with Soku's. Okay, there we go. All right. Oh, wow. And look at how beautiful Elise is. That's fantastic. Ooh, Miriam, can you get this bunny? Oh, come on, Miriam. Don't get too distracted by the bunny. Oh, no. And here comes a leech. All right. We don't want anything to do with these leeches. So let's get away from this leech. Beauty doesn't want anything to do with this, and she just wants to get out of here. And then we'll go ahead and have Zala destroy that bush. And we'll have Soku run for it so that he won't be seen or smelled by them. He'll hide in the grasses right here. Maybe gather up and like pass down a little grass material to Janet. And then we'll get Zala over here. That wasn't really worth it for Miriam. Oh man, and now Miriam has a leech. Ew. All right, we'll have to take care of her. In fact, we'll have Janet pluck the leech off so that Miriam's not hurt. But I think everybody else is like ready to move on, especially because the females are too nervous to stick by. So Gaston, you hang in there. Fifi is probably eyeing you up a little bit as a mate because we're kind of low on all of our males. Oh, and look at this. I think Elise would have just seen there's these really cool clamshells, so that make her kind of excited. She's the youngest. Look at how cute she is. I love her spots. She's also the only spotted Bearynea gened creature that we have. And we don't really need to worry about food, so I think that Miriam will go ahead and leave that be. All right. Miriam, how many turns is it going to take you to get all the way back over? She's so slow. All right, I can grab the heap of meat, and then we can jump over here. And then we will have, let's see, there's Beauty. I think Soku's going to sneak over here. Hopefully Elise is, oh no, Elise. All right, she's distracted because she ended up with a leech. So her dad will pluck that off, and Gaston will lead the way to a new island. Let's see if we can find somewhere that's a little bit better for our young Bearynea tribe to settle. Oh boy, where am I now? Whoa boy, this looks more like an adventure. Ooh, and look at this. What is this? Okay, this is more like it. Thorns and rough and tough looking places that look like they need a good claw or two to be able to work through. I think this would make the ladies a lot more excited. All right, so let's get everybody over there. Watch out for the leeches. Soku is going to be the first to run for it and hopefully not get bleached. Oh, Soku! It's the poison berry bushes! You guys, that's perfect because I think Soku is like the only one who is able to eat that because of his poison fangs. And he would definitely, if I have it, pass down poison fangs to his children. Oh, where do I not have poison fangs? Travel to new islands. Oh, we have to have a toxic body to pass on poison fangs unless he already has it. Oh, that's so frustrating. All right, this is very exciting. I think that Beauty would be very happy and kind of, I think she'd make a beeline for the tree, though she really loved having a nest that was next to water last time. But she's getting a little bit older, and I think that she's ready to have her baby like any second now. So we'll kind of have her beeline for the tree with Gaston right behind because he'd be worried. Fifi is very excited. Wonderful new land. Curious berries, which are actually poison, so hopefully they won't try to nibble on it. And then we'll have Zala follow along. There we go. Oop. There she goes. Fights a leech. Soku trembling in the grasses up here. Well, I don't know if he'd tremble. He's very brave for having come this far with the Bearynea tribe members, but I think that he's a little nervous. And then we'll have Janet. She is here with her family now, but I think she'll try to be kind of strategic about staying very close to Soku, but I don't think her sisters would let her get too far away from their eyesight. So we'll have her come up here, and I wonder if she could get away with having a nest right up here where she can kind of see everything. They'd probably want her a little closer, so we'll have her, oh perfect, we'll have her nest like right there. And then we've got the young Elise who can start exploring along the side too. There we go. And we'll let everybody kind of settle down and get comfortable here. And I think that Soku is actually going to be able to be the only one, if I remember correctly, poison berries. Oof, should I have him with his toxic fangs try to eat it? I don't want him to die. That would be very alarming. All right, Fifi's jumping on over. She has discovered, can I attack a cactus? I don't know. I don't want her to get hurt just yet. So we'll wait on that. We'll let Janet go ahead and have her baby right here. And then I think Beauty is going to be probably right here is a good spot for her to have her child. So we're gonna have a couple babies coming up, and Beauty really, when I think about her, I think a lot about just her plain color coat, so that she doesn't have any pattern coat. I wonder why her patterns all got canceled out. Is that because of her Bearynea traits? Oh, she has green eye recessive. What? That's so cool. But I kind of think about like her red and white pattern that makes this brown pattern, or her red moss brown fur. I kind of feel like her moss brown fur really represents her, especially because she's Beauty. We'll go with moss brown fur, or maybe the chestnut brown fur. You know, we'll go with the chestnut brown fur because I feel like she's more of a chestnut color, even if her genes say otherwise. And then I don't think there's any negative traits that she really needs to avoid passing on. So I'm not going to put anything in there because I want just kind of chance more than anything to determine whether or not she has Bearynea claws, or her children do. And also I think chance, leaving it to chance to figure out how big the different creatures' bodies are when they're born, will actually help us while we're building a hierarchy amongst this new tribe. So we'll have to kind of keep an eye on that. Gaston, we'll go ahead and have him maybe destroy this berry bush in passing. They can at least do that much with such high attack. And he'll do that so that he can bring over to his mate some wonderful new berries. And then let's see, Miriam I think is getting impatient, and she's going to start stalking Gaston down because she can't move as quickly as the rest, and I think she's ready to perhaps have a child or two of her own for sure. And then we'll have a little curious Elise gather up the seaweed, because why not? And then we'll have Zala rush over to yank that leech off and conveniently not notice the hiding Soku. I kind of want Soku to get that berry bush, but I'm kind of nervous for him too as well. And we'll go ahead. I don't think he would clear away any of the grass because he wants to remain in camouflage. All right, we're going to give it one test. He can eat it! Alright, so Soku can actually eat these poison berries, where those poison berries would actually cause death for our other creatures, or I think they would just make them really, really sick. I'm not sure if they would cause death or like a poisoning or something. Alright, and then Janet's child is about to be born. So Soku, if you were going to pass something down to your children, I think it would probably be his spots, his pattern shaped D, or actually his dots. So normal eyesight, because he does have short-sighted eyes, and that's a good trait to try to pass on. And then I think his tiny pattern, big pattern. Wow, look at the pattern density. I feel like his dots would just definitely be the thing that he would pass on to his child. And I would definitely say that I don't think that like fur pattern types or colors just yet are becoming something that the Bearyenas are really thinking about using as like a ranking and hierarchy. I think it's all determined by how big your claws are and how big your body is right now. But we'll have to see if maybe the color patterning that the creatures come in, or like what color the male's manes are, end up becoming a signifier of hierarchy in our tribe later. All right, babies! We have babies! Also, I heard something. What? How did you end up looking little Vonku? He looks like he has a male, by the way. Yes. And does he have double Bearynea paws? He has double Bearynea claws. That is so cool. And he's got a big body and he's healthy. Oh my gosh. And he's got high fertility. That's fantastic. Oh my goodness. We've got to give him a good name. Let me pull up our list of names that you guys have submitted to. Let's see. And we have... Owl Claw, actually. So I think we have a Warrior Cats fan, but somebody wants to name this little one Owl Claw, and I actually think that's perfect because he's got double Bearynea claws. So we're gonna go ahead, and he was born under a tree, so kind of playing into the owl theme. So there we go, a little male to help us keep our line going, and he has got the inactive snout, but otherwise he's looking pretty fierce. He's looking pretty much like a hybrid because he's got that double claw. How much strength does that give him? 8 strength. Oh my gosh, can you imagine if we stuck some like mega horns or a hammer tail on them? Just how strong can you make these creatures now? That's amazing. That's going to be so much fun. And we have another little boy. Oh my gosh, Soku, you have a son. You have a little son. Oh, I kind of want to name him something special because Janet is the only one. I think Janet might actually be super relieved that the parentage of her child is not immediately obvious, because if he was suddenly born with a lot of spots or didn't look quite as much as the rest of the Bearyneas, then I think the sisters would actually go, wait a second, just who did you mate with anyway? And they would get really suspicious. And I think they're just very, they're getting very strict at wanting to make sure that only Bearyneas and the strongest survive within their tribe. Oh my goodness, what are we gonna name him? I kind of want to name him after his dad somehow. Sokuro? Yeah, we'll go ahead and name him Sokuro. There we go. So little Sokuro, and Janet will just try to like casually be like, oh, it's just a name that I think Dad would have wanted, the Beast. And he might end up with like a different name. Maybe we should start calling some of our creatures after like big spooky monsters. I'll have to think up some cool names. Like maybe we'll have a little Godzilla in the future, depending on what they look like. That would be kind of fun. Alright, so let's keep moving. Miriam is definitely going to be stalking Gaston. There we go. Even if that's going to be a little bit risky when it comes to the immunity genes, Miriam is getting very old and wants to have some children of her own. Meanwhile, Beauty is going to come down and she's got some nuts to nibble, and she's going to have another child right away, because why not? And then Gaston, I think he would have almost gone to like destroy this bush, and Janet would protest because she's very good at berry picking. And actually she passed that trait on to her son. If you guys notice, Sokuro, he happens to have no claws, which means that he's probably not going to end up being very fierce, and he's not going to end up being really revered amongst his tribe members, unfortunately. So he's already born lower on the hierarchy, much lower compared to Owlclaw over here. Hopefully, because they were born at the same time, maybe they'll at least be friends and Owlclaw can defend him from like the bullying of the older creatures. But Sokuro here was born with his mom's chestnut brown fur, and he has a dainty velvet paw. Oh, I just feel like that would definitely get him bullied. Having nimble fingers and a velvet paw would definitely end up getting him bullied, but he has really high fertility, so that's a good thing. Alright, so Janet's gonna stand right over here and kind of take care of her little berry bushes, and we're gonna have Soku sneak over here. There's a whole set of berry bushes right over here, and as long as he stays in the grasses, he and Janet might be able to live out a happy little life right over here, as long as Zola, well, I guess these two don't really notice or care. They're busy being young and adventurous and wanting to explore along the side of the island, so they're probably not ever going to notice. Oh, look, and there's a permanent nest over here. Nice. All right, I have a feeling that they'll want to like start using that ASAP. In fact, I wonder if Fifi would come on over and would want... Oh, no luck? All right, there we go. So Fifi is going to have a child now. I don't think she would really want Gaston as a mate, but Owlclaw's birth really makes him look really good as a possible mate, because that's a strong son. So now we've got more of our females pregnant. They're also getting older, so it's important for them to have children. Are those green eyes? Those are green eyes! A beautiful green eyed baby girl, and she's smaller and she has green eyes, so she's not going to have that intimidating glare, but she does have at least one Bearynea claw, which is going to help her out with status in this family. So let's give her a new name too. Ooh, those are for twins. Okay, I'll skip that for twins. And then go down, and Nina. So we have a Nina from our list of names, which I'm always telling you guys you can contribute to, but I love going through. We actually just went through again and gathered up hundreds and hundreds of names and put them in the big giant name list, which I was sick with the cold this week, so I totally forgot to put that up on the Dropbox. Oh, I need to write that down. I need to write that down, series, so that I remember to give you guys the name list and make it available for everyone. But it's so much fun to see the big name list, and we're constantly going back and adding through everything again and again and again. But we've got little Nina now. So she is Beauty's daughter, I think her second ever daughter, and I'm just so relieved to have boys and girls so we can keep our lines going. All right, and then let's see. I think Fifi would shove everybody out of the way to make herself very comfortable and kind of yell at that rock a little bit, and send Zala skittering off to go see what's going on over here. And little Alcee, who's actually really great at exploring because she happens to have fantastic movement, and I love her spots. She actually blends in very well in the savanna grass there. All right, and little Owlclaw, he's probably pretty fierce, but he's still very vulnerable. Well, actually, I say very vulnerable because I was thinking about what if he gets eaten by like a bigger, tougher, meaner Bearynea, but he's got 8 attack. That's pretty severe if you ask me. I think he might be able to defend himself. All right, so let's see. We'll go ahead and have Beauty jump up into the nest. And come on. All right, finally, there we go. And Beauty and Gaston will have another child because I don't think, yeah, Beauty only has a few days left, and I definitely think she needs to make the most of her time. And Miriam, what? Miriam was just about to have a baby, but she just... Oh my gosh, we've got Rami on one side, we've got a leech on the other, and I think Miriam would be a little bit perplexed about what she needed to focus on first. Look at Rami! Wow, she has really low fertility. Does she have, let's see, she has 1 crippled paw. And she's got violet eye recessive. So tempting. Oh, look at the antlers. I love the new icon for the antlers, but I don't know. Can she do any collecting? She can do fishing and attack. And she might be able to be used for exploring, but I don't think that Miriam can do anything about this interloper who's nearby just yet. But she definitely wouldn't be invited into the tribe for breeding, that's for sure. Alright, so Miriam wanted to get rid of that leech before it got her, and then she's going to build a new nest since her sister Fifi, who's older, took the other nest through seniority. And we'll have to see where that little family, what they get up to. And we'll have little Soku come over, and hopefully he won't make the mistake of trying to eat the poison berries that his dad can eat, because that would be very bad. So I think that we'll clear away the grasses there and eat one of these berries. But I'm hoping that Soku is telling his son that it is a very bad idea to eat these berries. Don't do it because we want you to live. All right, and then we'll have Janet. Yep, there we go. I wanted another child with Janet because I love their little family that they have going. I think she's just always worried what would happen if one of her children with Soku ended up revealing that there is a secret interloper in this Bearynea family tribe. And I don't think they would keep Rami as a breeder for sure, but I wonder if she would be kept as kind of like a slave of some kind, because this is a very tough and rough and tumble little tribe we've got going here. All right, but Fifi has claimed her new nest, and she is very happy to be tending to this brand new island, and I'm very excited to see, probably Elise will be the first one to get there, what this area has to offer. This is so mysterious. I see jungle grass, and I swear I see thorns. I've never seen those before. So it's going to be really exciting to explore over there and see just how tough our little tribe actually is. So I'll see you guys then. Bye-bye.